Mark is a paranoid. He took me by force and locked me in the attic. I don't care that I have a crush on someone. Force me to marry him. To vent anger. Married to him for 5 years. I abuse him every day. Until he was exhausted. Finally let me go. I can't wait to throw myself into the arms of my sweetheart who has been waiting for me for 5 years. I fantasize about living a happy life with him in the future. He took me to the abandoned factory. With a sneer, he cut out my heart with a knife. Waited for 5 years. I can finally use this heart to save Jane. I just know. He approached me because of his first love, Jane, who was born with heart disease. Souls flying in the air. I saw him set a fire to destroy the body. I also saw the fire spreading across the sky. Mark rushed in and took out my body regardless of his own safety. His along with the stinging sensation comes a cool touch. My body is so hot that I can't help but hug you. The soft coolness slowly touches the whole body. Not a single inch was spared. I took the initiative to meet you with enthusiasm. There's a strange smell in the air. I was intoxicated and slowly fell asleep. Open your eyes again. The sun is already high outside the window. The dazzling sunlight shines into the desk. Bringing vitality leisurely. Etc. Aren't I already dead? This is Mark's study. I suddenly thought of something. When I lifted the quilt, I saw shocking kiss marks all over my body. My face turned red instantly. I quickly realized that I was reborn. Back to when Mark and I had just been married for 2 years. In my previous life, I resented Mark for forcing me to get married. I don't want to sleep with him. I kicked him out on the wedding day. He had no choice but to pack up his things and move to the study to sleep there for 2 years. Leave the bedroom to me. 5 years since we got married. I never took the initiative to step into his study. Except last night. I was drugged. Breaking in without a clear mind. Then she used all her skills to tease and seduce Mark. Kiss him on the lips. Ask him to help me calm down. Soft jade in the arms. The already shaky defense line collapsed in an instant. This is why there was such a ridiculous night. When I woke up, I naturally thought of Mark as a despicable person. To do such a shameless and vulgar thing as drugging. Now think about it. A person who has lived under the same roof with me for 5 years without crossing the line. How could this be done? I was blinded by anger. He smashed his study on the spot. A fire burned the sheets. Still not relieved. I smashed all the valuable antique vases and glass cups into pieces. The maid couldn't stand it. Call him immediately to report the truth. Waiting for his orders. But he just said lightly. Look after your wife. Don't hurt yourself. His indifferent attitude made me even more angry. So I pretended to make peace and asked him to come back. Suddenly stabbed him in the abdomen. He exercises all year round. The stab wound in the abdomen healed quickly. But the wound in my heart never healed. This time. He clearly felt my overwhelming hatred. Completely chilling to me. After that, he avoided me. Afraid of escalating conflicts with me. His attitude became increasingly indifferent. Finally, under my repeated mental violence. He couldn't bear to divorce me. I couldn't wait to tell my sweetheart Frank the good news. He showed a surprised smile. Coaxed me to sleep and said he would take me to the airport. In fact, it took me to an abandoned factory where few people go. Digging my heart viciously. You are so stupid. Why do you think I would wait for a woman who has been slept with by someone else for 5 years? Then I knew. His so-called love waits for me. It was just to save his first love who had a congenital heart disease. I just found out. Frank drugged my water. Put the blame on Mark. Just so we could have a big fight and get divorced. Without my protection, it would be easier for him to take action. But he didn't expect that Mark would still protect me even after divorcing me. I rushed to the fire shortly after the accident. To save me. Mark suffered severe burns on 70% of his body. After revenge for me. He knelt at my grave and expressed his love for me. After donating all his billions of assets to charity. He then hanged himself at my grave. I suddenly realized the surging love he had buried in his heart for decades. And the concerns that were hesitant to be expressed over the years and the obscure emotions in the eyes. I swear. If there is a chance to come back. I will never let him down again. Thoughts return. I looked around at the intact layout. Take a deep breath. Fine. Everything is in time. A few bottles of medicine on the bedside table suddenly caught my eye. After seeing the effect, my face turned red again. There is a piece of paper under the ointment. The powerful handwriting expresses my apology. Last night was my fault. I didn't hold on. Feel sorry. In my previous life, I was only concerned with being angry. I didn't notice the note and ointment at all. My heart hurts as if someone is grabbing it. So in places I didn't see. What else did he do secretly that I don't know about? It doesn't matter. I will know it slowly. I slowly applied the medicine to my body. Glimpse of the red and swollen marks at the tear. I cursed you secretly as a mad dog. Mark sat back on the sofa in the box. I sneezed for no reason. He left at 7 in the morning. After carefully covering the person on the bed with a blanket. He almost fled. Making love is fun. Crematorium. The result of indulging the inner beast in love is. He had no idea how to face Nancy after she woke up. Mark stared at the phone on the table which had been turned off. When he left, he told Grace at home. Madam, please call him immediately if you have any news after you wake up. Calculate the time. Nancy should wake up too. But there is no news from Grace yet. It made him feel a little flustered. Mark. Don't bother me. If your sister-in-law ignores you, why don't you look at other people? There are many beautiful ladies in the Imperial City. I'll help you order some girls to accompany you. Good brother Henry gave him advice. The girls are fast. They all want to get close to Mark, a powerful man. But not close yet. They were all so frightened by the pressure from him that they dared not even breathe. Get Henry's signal. Someone was brave enough to sit next to Mark. Squeeze out a word from your throat. Roll. He frowned slowly. A dark light flickers in the narrow eyes. As if it contained endless depth and danger. The girls immediately scattered and fled. Everyone in the Imperial City knows Mark's methods. They love money but value life more. Mark's eyes flashed with anger. The whole body exudes the indifference of those in power. Henry was annoyed when he saw his dead look. But there is no way. Who made him a love-brained person? My heart is all on Nancy. When I was about to send a message to Mark, I just realized I don't have his contact information. I asked Grace and found out that he was in the Imperial City. A good place for the rich kids in Beijing to have fun. Relying on the memory of the previous life. I quickly found the location of the presidential box. I just walked in. The noisy box suddenly became quiet. Everyone looked at me with their mouths wide open in surprise. Like rows of muted screaming groundhogs. I saw the man drinking sadly in the back. Cold and sharp eyes. Clean and neat facial lines. There is a mole on the high bridge of the nose. His long eyelashes can't hide the sadness in his eyes. The heart is held by a big hand. A dull pain came. I can't describe the pain I feel. By the time I realized what I was doing, I've already rushed over. He held Mark's hand while pouring the wine. Sudden action. The man was obviously stunned. I raised my eyes to meet his gaze. He's more attractive than I remember. Drunk eyes. Those blurred peach blossom eyes seem to be covered with a layer of mist. Eye contact. Time seems to have stood still. I tried to suppress the emotions that surged in my heart. Come home with me. There was a faint cry in the voice. Reach out to him. The man's dead eyes suddenly lit up with a glimmer of light. Just about to reach out to respond. But was interrupted by his good brother Henry. Hey, you forgot that he held your hand last time. I turned around and you shot me in the head with a vase. After accusing me, he said to Mark with a frustrated look on his face. You really are. Someone feeds you a sweet date. You just rush to get in the face and let people slap you. I certainly didn't forget. When we first got married, he took the initiative to lead me down the stairs. I was angry that he broke up my lover with me. I picked up the vase next to me and smashed it on his head. The fragments pierced his head. Bloody. He was sent to the hospital ICU and was barely saved. You're not going to kill people, are you? As his good brother. I can't let you take him away. Henry opened his arms to block Mark. Staring at me firmly. As soon as the words fell, Mark, who was walking unsteadily, pushed him away. Hold my hand. Go home with you. Hey, that's how you treat your good brother. Henry's dissatisfied voice came from behind. I feel guilty about Mark. Let him do whatever he wants when he's drunk. The nearly 1.9-meter tall man muttered to himself in grievance. I tiptoed closer to him, trying to hear what he's saying. But he is too tall. I can't reach. Mark seemed to see my intention. Suddenly bend down and turn your head. Thin lips brushed my ears. His voice is hoarse. Nancy. Sorry. My heart trembled. I know what he's apologizing for. He has been very considerate to me over the years. He did nothing wrong except last night. The earlobe suddenly changes from cool to warm. I touched my ear subconsciously. It's the warmth he left behind. Mark is very obedient when he is drunk. The driver and I stuffed him into the car without much effort. His dark eyes were slightly closed. The drunkenness stained his eyebrows and eyes. I took the opportunity to observe him boldly. Man in white shirt. Unbutton a few buttons on the collar. The sleeves are also slightly rolled up. The exposed skin is white and rosy. There is an attractive red mole on the neck. And the hands with distinct joints. Oh my God. Was I blind in my previous life? How could you let such a top boss go? I always wanted to elope with the short and thin Frank. I'm watching. Mark seemed to notice something. The sound of my Adam's apple rolling up and down as I swallowed interrupted my thoughts. I quickly sat down properly. After arriving home, I held Mark at the stairs. Looked at the rooms on both sides. It's difficult. I made the decision in just 1 second. I helped him into my bedroom. The gap between us is caused by me. I have to break it too. I explained. You got drunk and asked me to take care of you at night. This room is convenient for me to take care of you. Mark nodded. Express your approval. The burning gaze rested on me. Like it's burning me up. My ears suddenly turned red. Help him wipe it and cover him with a blanket. I put on my bathrobe and washed up. Come out again. Seeing Mark lying quietly on my pink piggy pillow. Already asleep. A trace of peace of mind passed by inadvertently. The day's room. The music that suits the occasion sounded. You are what I have never. This is Frank's exclusive ringtone. Not yet time to change. I picked up the phone and went to the balcony to answer it. Nancy. I've got a new way to get you away from Mark. I can't explain it over the phone. You come to the old place. I'll discuss this with you in detail. Across the screen. Frank's voice still makes me almost vomit. His cruelty before his death is still in my mind. It won't go away. I resisted the urge to yell. Try to calm down your anger. Take a long breath. Let's talk about it in a few days. I've been feeling unwell lately. I didn't hear him finish his fake concern. I hung up the phone immediately. Then changed the exclusive ringtone. Block all his contact information. After doing this, I turned off my phone. Get into bed and hug Mark. Fell asleep on his chest. In the dark night by moonlight. The man's eyes slowly opened. He stared at my sleeping face with clear eyes. The eyes revealed complex emotions. He sighed. Gently put your hands on my back. Hug me back. His Nancy seems to be a little different. She no longer feared and hated him. It's the Nancy in his dream. If this is all a dream. Can I never wake up? When I woke up, the temperature beside me was gone. I washed up slowly and went downstairs. Big Boss is still so busy on weekends. I was chewing a piece of toast. Muttered. Turn your head. Then I saw Mark sitting on the sofa with his legs crossed and reading a newspaper. Wearing an off-white sweater. With gray velvet pants. The sleeves of the sweater are rolled up to reveal the strong and muscular forearms. The sun falls on his face. A touch of tenderness. This 28-year-old boy has been given a golden glow. This angular face has not been disfigured by the fire. It hasn't changed beyond recognition. Everything is real in front of me. There's still time to change. I calmly sat next to him. He broke a piece of bread and handed it to him. Naturally put your head close to read the newspaper. Don't you have to go to the company today? My eyes fell on the butterfly wedding ring on my ring finger. I just put it on today. His body was visibly stiff. The hand holding the newspaper tightened. A long time. The tone is almost stiff. If you have anything to say, just say it. No need to waste time. I immediately realized that he might think I was asking something of him. Only then did he lower his posture and seek peace. There is absolutely no anger at being misunderstood. Instead, I felt more sorry for him. Once upon a time, I eloped with Frank. Once caught, they will be locked in the attic. Not long after, Mark let me out of pity. Later, more times. Completely pissed off Mark. He ordered me not to go out alone. Every time I leave the villa, I must be accompanied by bodyguards. I'm so fed up. Try to get angry with him. Calling him a pervert. Restrict my personal freedom. He touched the wedding ring on his ring finger. Still indifferent. Don't let go. Been together for a long time. I found that he is soft-hearted and not hard-hearted. His weakness is me. I would venture to guess. As long as I'm soft. Maybe he'll let me go. Once the idea comes out. I rushed into the bedroom. Found the wedding ring I had when I got married. It sparkles with the unique light of pink diamonds. The overall structure is a silver butterfly. It's exactly the same ring I drew on paper when I was a kid. I was really surprised when I received it. I love it so much that I can't put it down. But in order to go against Mark, I threw it into the swimming pool in public. Let him lose face. Later, Mark jumped into the swimming pool and fished it out himself. Then he ordered someone to send it back to me. Mark, can you help me put it on? I put the ring in his hand. Mark froze. Carefully hold my hand. Help me put on my belated wedding ring. He must have been thinking that day. His Nancy finally accepted their marriage. Afterwards, he really allowed me to go out without bodyguards. What I got in return was the news that Frank and I had already fled to the airport and were about to board the plane. Later he caught me back in the attic. Our relationship took a turn for the worse. He is always more wary of me. Because he knew it was a honey trap. If you fall into the trap, you will lose me forever. My thoughts were interrupted by him gently wiping my tears with his fingertips. Trembling fingertips. Unsteady breathing. I resisted the urge to hug him. Say, Mark. I'm sorry. Before I finish. His cold and distant voice interrupted me. The veterinarian will bring Inget back later. His dark eyes looked at me. No words spoken. I opened my mouth. Looking at his lonely expression. Finally, I didn't say it. I understand that it is so difficult to ask him to forgive me on the spot. Blame it on Nancy for being too extreme. Inget is a Samoyed I raise. A few days ago, he was sick and was taken to the veterinary hospital by Mark. Inget in the previous life had a quarrel with Mark because of me. Feeling depressed after being sick. Not long after, he passed away. In this life, I must give it lots of meat and bones to compensate it. Really? The veterinarian quickly sent Inget back. The weather outside is sunny. I decided to take Inget for a walk in the garden. I put on a light yellow sweater dress. Running wildly with Inget in the vast grassland that had just been mowed. Facing the sun. The warm wind blows my hair. The sun shines through the hair. Inside the French window. Mark quietly moved his desk to handle company documents. Look up at us from time to time. Ran a few laps. I was finally so tired that I held onto the fence and gasped for breath. Watching Inget running away, still full of energy. At this time. A big hand patted my back. I thought it was Mark. Subconsciously forced a smile. Looking back, I found. This is Frank. The face of the man in front of me and the cruel and vicious beast before death slowly overlap. My face instantly fell. He had sneaked in by climbing over the garden fence. His face was still covered in dirt and wet mud. If before. I will be happy to help him wipe his face with a smile. He got involved in order to save me. But now I look on coldly. He came for my heart, which happened to match her first love. Frank shook off the mud on his body. Complained dissatisfiedly. Nancy. I called you and sent you messages these days, but you didn't reply? What do you think about what I told you last time? If you want to leave this devil Mark, you have to hurry up. Of course, I see you clearly. This life. I will never give you the chance to break us up again. I make it difficult. Hesitate for a few seconds before speaking. Frank. You also know. Mark's control over me is extremely strict. I can't escape. Don't worry about me. Hurry up and find a girlfriend and start a family. Leave me alone. I look like a considerate and virtuous person. Frank noticed something was wrong with me. He narrowed his eyes. As your eyes slowly passed by me, I clearly saw the corners of his mouth rise. At the same time, the surrounding air pressure suddenly dropped. A thin layer of sweat appeared on my back. I bet someone is looking at me coldly. He must have mistakenly thought his cheating wife was having a tryst with her mistress. I just wanted to explain. Frank suddenly went crazy and hugged me tightly. He didn't waste the opportunity to stir up trouble between us. Nancy. I love you. I know you don't love Mark at all. Let's elope. I will take you far away. I felt the temperature on my back drop sharply at the speed of light. Pushed. But she couldn't break free from Frank's shackles. Nancy. You didn't say you hate Mark? Don't you want to be with him for even a moment? He is taller than me. Plus, I deliberately wanted Mark to misunderstand. My situation has become more difficult. I lowered my voice. Warn him. Frank, let me go. Let me go. Crucial moment. Inget came running from nowhere, barking at Frank. I took the opportunity to push him away and slapped him in hatred. Intentionally raised the volume. Frank. Please clarify. I'm married. Don't say weird things to me anymore. This will affect my relationship with my husband. This slap stunned Frank. I pretended to wink at him and told him to go away. But how could he leave? He was finally thrown out sideways by Mark's bodyguard. No, I beg for mercy. Mark no longer stopped. New hatred and old grudges added together. The bodyguards who had long stood up for their boss were surprisingly ruthless towards him. The man who makes a man cuckold is the one I hate most in my life. Punch to the head. Kick your feet. I ignored Mark's suspicious look. He panicked. He caught up with me and held my hand. Stop me. Afraid that I would dislike him, he let go immediately. A pair of eyes drooped slightly. Half a while. Ask me what I just said. I ignored him. No response. He was silent. The final tone was difficult. You just told him not to affect your relationship with me. Yeah. Mark stared at me eagerly. I made a mistake. Stubbornly say. I didn't say you. I'm talking about my husband. Respond to my. It's endless silence. Just when I thought he wouldn't come back to me. He spoke with difficulty. We already got the certificate. This is an unchanging fact. His tone was calm and suppressed. What a stubborn person. I grit my teeth. Holding Inget, I quickly shook him off. Walk straight up the steps. Rewarded Inget with a piece of chicken. Good Inget. I just knew I was going to protect my mother. Not like someone. I just get jealous and sulky. Mom will love you the most in the future. I will never pay attention to some annoying people again. No matter how dumb Mark is, he can understand what I mean. Besides, he's not stupid at all. There was a gleam in his eyes. But it soon dimmed again. The boss who is always serious and domineering in the company. At this moment, I feel like a child who has done something wrong. Standing there without moving. A long time. He gave a bitter sneer. Nancy, have you been playing with me lately? Pretend to love him. Escape when he lets his guard down. Then she abandoned him mercilessly. This drama has been played out at least 3 times. This sentence undoubtedly hit me hard. My breathing stopped. The proud son of heaven bends down humbly before me again and again. I thought the fun between husband and wife was coquettish. In his eyes, it was just a trick before escaping. Blame me for being self-righteous. Didn't consider his feelings. How many times have you been abandoned? That's why I'm so sensitive and suspicious. Guilt welled up in my heart. I can't control it anymore. Wet eyes. Raise your hand and wipe away your tears. Adjust your mood. Mark. I won't make you sad anymore. Immediately stand on the steps. Make a trumpet shape with your hands. Staring at Mark in front of him. The one shouting is Inget. Inget. Go tell your dad. Mom won't hurt him like she did before. I won't follow the bad guys and leave him. Mom will love him well in the future. I hope your dad can trust Mom. When you see a bad guy next time, rush out to protect your mother. When saying this, my eyes are gentle and firm. Mark is actually very suspicious. When he was 6 years old, his mother died in a car accident. My father remarried soon after. Father's life of debauchery. Not doing your job. His stepmother often secretly abused him under the pretext of education. It caused him severe psychological trauma. Later, the old man of Mark's family found out. Take care of it. He was free from suffering. Because my son is useless. The old man of the Mark family placed all his hopes on Mark. Let him enter the company early to learn management. The greater the expectation, the greater the pressure on you. Other people of the same age are still ignorant. He has supported the entire family. I was not convinced when I first arrived at the company. Until now, he has acted decisively and vigorously. No one dared to question. He made unimaginable efforts. In the treacherous business world, if you are not careful, you will be pulled down by someone with ulterior motives. In a childhood lacking love and education, he can only rely on his own ignorance to explore. How to love, how to express love. I heard that women are born to like some jewelry. Then, The auction was worth 200 million. A shining heart symbolizing true love. He didn't blink. I took a picture of it and sent it to me, carefully expecting that I will like it. This time, his sincerity was not rewarded with sarcasm. I took the initiative to kiss his lips. Unlike the expected passionate kiss, he held my shoulders and slowly pushed me away. Lower your head. When you look up again. There was a look of suppressed pain in his eyes. The tone is difficult and authentic. Is it sincere? I really like him. Kissed him on the lips? Not to please. To escape. I tightened my fingertips. Mark's suspicion of my change of attitude. It was because I had deceived him many times before. Dare not think. In the past, he was full of joy and expected that I would love him. Later I found out it was all a scam. How miserable he must be. Silly Mark was reluctant to put the blame on him. So he only blames himself. I don't like you. It's sincere. Mark, can you please trust me again? Good. My parents died when I was 8. It was my uncle and aunt who raised me with kindness. I have always remembered their kindness over the years. My uncle's birthday is in a few days. I didn't get along with Mark before. I never took the initiative to bring him here. Now I have decided to stay with him forever. Meeting the parents. Late but arrived. My uncle doesn't have many relatives here. My only son works in another city. Can't come back. So when I saw Mark and I holding hands. When I walked in with the cake. The 2 elders were so happy that their eyes were filled with tears. After entering, I went straight forward and hugged my uncle who was standing behind me. Aunt who secretly wipes away tears. She was stunned at first. After realizing it, he patted my shoulder. Comfort me. Previous life. After my uncle became seriously ill, my aunt came to Mark for help. She already knew that Mark liked me. I lied to him and said I had liked him for many years. I just didn't say it directly because of the girl's face. At that time, I was still studying in another province. I didn't know that my uncle was seriously ill. Suddenly, I received a call from my aunt. Let me marry Mark to repay their kindness over the years. I already had a crush on someone. Frank. Plus I'm still in school. I don't want to marry him. But my aunt threatened to die. There is no choice but to marry him. Later I mistakenly thought that my aunt was asking for the huge gift money from Mark. Sold me to him. So I hated her for many years. I hate Mark who paid for my life. Marrying is also a torture for each other. I found out after I died. At that time, my uncle was seriously ill and needed a large sum of money. You didn't tell me because you were afraid I would worry. My aunt had no choice but to do this to save him. Silly child. How could my aunt blame you? My aunt and I hugged and cried. My uncle is old and can't stand seeing this kind of scene. Interrupt us. Let me take Mark for a walk outside. I immediately became a tour guide. Introduce Mark to tourists. This place was my secret base when I was a kid. I often climb this tree to read alone. And here. This is the swing my uncle made for me. Every time I swing on the swing, I can see all kinds of pedestrians outside the fence. I held Mark's hand, pointing to the fence across from the tree. I remember a time when I was a kid. There is a little brother who always squats outside the fence and wipes his tears secretly. I don't know why he's sad. But to make him happy, I still give him my cookies every day. At first he didn't tell me anything. I ate my cookies for 3 days. Later he gradually opened up to me. It turns out that his father always forced him to call her stepmother. He doesn't want to. His father beat him with a ruler. I didn't notice. Mark stared at me. There is a gradually warming smile in the eyes. I sit on the swing. Sigh. I felt that he was both miserable and not miserable. The good thing is that he has parents unlike me. The sad thing is that he is often beaten by his parents. Life is not as good as mine. I don't know how he is now. Did anyone hit him with a ruler? No. Now he's stronger. No one dares to hit him anymore. He also found the little sister. Mark thought. The corners of the lips slowly curl up. Time flies. Winter is here. Heavy snow outside the villa. Snow is falling. Occasionally, you can hear a sound like the rubbing of gauze. The ground was soon covered with white. Lady. Be careful. Don't wrestle. Villa entrance. Grace paced back and forth anxiously. Didn't hear my response. She looked at the man working on the sofa for help. Mark didn't look up. Tone of pampering. Grace. Go get a basin of hot water for my wife. Cook another bowl of ginger soup. There is a lot of snow outside. I grabbed a handful of snow and quickly rolled it into a ball. Then, throw it towards Ingot, who was rolling in the snow not far away. Ingot received the signal and quickly started to fight back. It ran to me in 2 or 3 steps. Turn your back to me. Then the hind legs fluttered a few times, splashing snow particles. Ingot. Come and chase your mother. I made a snowball again. Throw the ingot and run back. The calf-length cotton jacket restricts my steps. Snow is too thick. I run very slowly. Mark stood up and walked to the French window. At first glance, I saw that he was wearing a yellow and white bear hat. The scarf is tied crookedly around the neck. I walk like a little penguin. The air was filled with laughter and joy. I soon became exhausted and out of breath. Looking back, I saw a man wearing the same bear hat as me, crouching on the ground making a snowman. I walked over carefully. No sound. Then I took the opportunity to press on his back. Wrap your arms around him. Bury your face in the soft fabric of your scarf. Encourage and act coquettishly. Mark. I can't walk anymore. Please carry me back. I heard Mark chuckle. Good. He pulled me up with one hand. With the other hand, take off the bear's hat and put it on the snowman. Then he carried me on his back and walked steadily towards the villa. Behind him, Ingot walks with a swagger. The air conditioner in the room is turned on very high. The temperature is more than 20 degrees higher than outside. As soon as you enter the door, you will feel surrounded by warmth. Grace has already prepared hot water. There is a freshly prepared dinner on the table. Mark carried me upstairs. Help me take off my clothes and take a bath. Put on my bathrobe when you're done. Apart from listening to him raise his hands and feet, I barely moved the whole time. Comfortable mealtime. I suddenly reacted. He just took off my clothes. No reaction to me. Woo woo woo. Really? Men are big pigs. You've only been married for a few years. He no longer loves me. My resentful eyes haven't had time to sweep over. I was interrupted by Mark picking up a piece of my favorite sweet and sour pork ribs. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Lifting her foot, she hooked the man opposite her. But I didn't think. He grabbed my feet. I put it in my arms and rubbed it. Don't catch a cold. After dinner. I'm playing a movie. Lying on the sofa, thinking about how to knock Mark down. I flipped through a few pages of the book in my hand while I was distracted. Come back to your senses. See the new chapter. Let's have a child. It's too late for me to withdraw. I said this. It happened to enter the ears of Mark, who came over with a blanket. Then, things got out of hand. He decisively threw away the small box hidden in the blanket. Press me down. Long fingers sank into my long hair. The pursuit of tongues. He is unquestionably strong. When I'm about to suffocate. He stepped back slightly. Just a moment. The hot breath sprays on the neck. All the way into the baggy bathrobe. The numbness aroused makes me feel like I'm on fire. My heart is pounding. In the dim villa. On the narrow sofa. The two people's noses are stuck together. Breathing entangles an extremely ambiguous atmosphere. Sometimes quickly. Sometimes soothing. Looking at each other in the darkness. Stretch this silent night to infinity. Being young is good. The day I found out I was pregnant. It was New Year's Eve. 2 clear lines on the pregnancy test stick. I unconsciously slowed my breathing. Mark has an urgent cooperation to negotiate in France. Just got on the plane. I'm a bit at a loss. At the same time, I secretly look forward to. Even though I have lived 2 lives. But this is my first pregnancy. It's also my first child with him. I'm extremely nervous. I was so nervous that I even felt a slight pain in my stomach. For peace of mind, Grace offered to take me to the hospital for a checkup. I don't want to make a big fuss. So I didn't let the bodyguard follow me. Only Grace is busy with me. New Year is coming. The hospital was silent. Only a few sobs were heard occasionally. I heard a conversation coming from a ward. Sound familiar? I noticed it. Ms. Jane. Don't be sad. You will definitely wait for the right heart source. I hope so. I just hope the condition doesn't get worse. Dr. Frank said. He found a heart source that matches yours in another hospital. Just wait until the deal is done. Then Ms. Jane won't have to envy others. You can also spend the new year with your family. Passing by the window. I looked inside. I saw a familiar face. Jane. Frank's first love has congenital heart disease. In my previous life, my heart was dug out and given to her. Now think about it. Frank was so determined to study medicine. I'm still studying about the heart. It's all for her. He approached me because he found out from the medical report that my blood type was the same as Jane's. Later, he always urged me to go to the hospital for a heart check. Heart disease is an invisible disease. Check early and feel at ease. I felt he cared about me. I went there obediently. He found out that my heart was a perfect match for hers. And I have been her backup heart source since then. Think of this. I just realized that I haven't seen Frank for a long time. Grace's surprised shout interrupted my memories. The pregnancy test in her hand really showed that she was pregnant. I didn't tell Mark the good news. I decided to wait for him to come back and give him a surprise. Compared to surprise, Mark was frightened first. When he was negotiating with the French CEO on the most critical issue of price, suddenly received a panicked call from Grace. Gentlemen. Not good. My wife is missing. Mark was still reserved and self-respecting in the last second. The next second, it was like I lost my soul. After flying back to the villa, he saw the pregnancy report in the living room. Surprised and delighted, Mark calmed down and immediately activated the national positioning system. Check for me. Where did the lady go tonight? Who did you meet? There was a layer of ice in his eyes, full of coldness and murderous intent. Next, a bunch of top hackers sitting in front of computers, hacking into the city's surveillance system. Find the locator quickly. My phone's location. The other side. In an abandoned factory with few people. When I woke up, I found myself tied up with hemp ropes. Cold hands and feet, almost numb. The mouth was also taped shut. The surroundings are exactly the same as in the previous life. The fear instantly enveloped me. It's Frank. He knocked me out while I was using the bathroom. The last moment I heard him say before he passed out. Nancy. You forced me to do this. I calmed down. Touched with hand. The hemp rope is tied in a knot. There is no way to break free without external force. There are no sharp objects around. Just as I was looking for a way out with my memories from my past life, the door behind me suddenly opened. A not-so-bright light shines through. The rumbling sound of the wheels rubbing against the uneven ground reached my ears. I was shocked. Turned back suddenly. It took several seconds to finally see the man walking towards me with the light behind him. Frank in a white coat. The card in my hand contains simple medical equipment. Not like an angel, but like a bloodthirsty devil. He had a sneer on his face. Crouch in front of me. Cold hands patted my face. You're hiding from me, right? It's okay. I'll come to you. There was a flash of panic in my eyes. Then he pretended to be angry and said, Frank, what are you talking about? I don't understand. You're gonna let me go. Are you still pretending to be me? Why didn't you reply to my text messages these days and call me and block me? You really think I'm a fool, don't you? You want to break up with me? I'll tell you the truth. You have only one purpose for me. Now it's time for you to realize your final value. Frank stood up. Pick up a scalpel. The harsh sound of the blades rubbing against each other frightened me a little. The terrible memories came back to my mind again. The blade cuts through the clothes and slowly cuts through the skin. Blood gushed out. A heart-wrenching pain came. No. I absolutely cannot afford to have any accidents. Even for the unborn baby in my belly. I have to hold on too. My voice trembles. You want my heart, right? To save Jane, right? Then who am I? If you loved her so much that you let me die, then why did you save me in the first place? I'm like a jealous abandoned woman. Yelling at him. At the same time, I also want an answer to the doubts I have had over the years. Frank and I were high school classmates. In my memory, he is excellent in both character and learning. Tall and thin. I have always been the one being secretly loved by people in my grade. I didn't feel anything for him at first. After hearing this person more and more, I started to pay attention to him. Until that study. He and I happened to be assigned to a group to test the water quality at the beach. I stepped on a stone and it hurt my foot and I couldn't stand still. Falling into the sea from the reef. The sea is not deep but I can't swim. In panic, he kissed my lips to help me breathe. Strong arms held me and brought me to shore. After I woke up, he stayed by my side and took care of me. Since then, I am a young girl, but my heart belongs to him. Following in his footsteps like other female classmates. He approached me several times. Makes me feel different from others. My heart is becoming more determined. You are so stupid. Even the lifesaver can admit his mistakes. There has been a lot of revenge over the years. This sentence makes me feel like I'm falling into an ice cellar. For your sacrifice for Jane. I'll tell you. It was Mark who saved you during the research trip in the first year of high school. I just called 120 for you. After all, it was me who caused you to fall. He put the rocks on the reef. This is the main reason why I fell. My head exploded instantly. The truth is revealed. I have no feeling of joy at all. As Frank said. Over the years, I have always repaid Mark with hatred. I misunderstood him and took me away by force. Treat him coldly. Now I want to compensate. I don't know if there is still a chance. Frank stopped talking nonsense. Suddenly cut my clothes. Just as the blade is about to touch the skin. Ding dong. The phone in my trouser pocket rang. He picked up the phone without hesitation. A faint joy came from the receiver. Dr. Frank. I heard that you have helped me find a suitable heart source. Thank you very much. I called you just to ask. Is the other party willing to save me? Does he regret it? It's Jane. Looks like. She didn't know what Frank had done. Jane. Have a good rest. Don't think about these. Frank smiled kindly. I will definitely save you. Next second. He put away his phone. No more hesitation. Pick up the scalpel and stab me. Bang bang bang. Gunshots. The imagined pain did not appear. I shrank into a ball. Open your eyes. Falling into a warm and strong embrace. Reassuring pine scent. Nancy. Don't be afraid. I am here. There was an unprecedented tremor in the man's voice. A long time. I felt my neck getting wet. I subconsciously grabbed his clothes. I lost feeling in my fingers. Still holding on tightly. Mark. Thank you for saving me again. After Frank was shot with a tranquilizer bullet. He was taken away by the police. After I told Mark the whole story. He quickly used his connections to help Jane find a suitable heart source. The surgery went smoothly. Jane didn't know this. When she was discharged from the hospital, she wanted to thank Frank in person. But I heard that something happened in his hometown and he resigned overnight. No one answered the phone call he made. She was a little annoyed. But Beijing is so big. Where is she going to find him? I can't help but think that if we are destined to meet in the future. She must thank him if she meets him on the street. When I went back to the ward to get something. But I found a letter under my pillow. Signed Frank. She suddenly felt that the name was very familiar. I read the letter with some trepidation. From the letter. Frank is 2 years younger than her. I fell in love with her at first sight at the junior high school sports meeting. Later, I asked someone to get her chatting software number. Fortunately, I became a pen pal with her. Later I learned that she had congenital heart disease. He taught himself a lot of relevant knowledge. I studied medicine in college just to save her. But it's so hard to find a heart that matches hers. He can't wait. But unexpectedly discovered that the female classmate in the first year of high school. The option of treating her as a last resort came to mind. Maybe I know my ending. Frank didn't say much. Just tell her not to worry. He will definitely save her. After reading the letter, Jane burst into tears. She was very grateful that someone in the dark cared about her like this. Looking forward to meeting Frank again. She didn't know. Frank committed suicide in prison. Foaming at the mouth when dying. The tragedy is unbearable to watch. When I heard the news, I didn't react much. The belated retribution finally fell on Frank. I will not change my attitude towards him because of his deep affection and loyalty. I won't forgive him for his death. Doing this is not only a shame to my past life. I feel even more sorry for Mark in my previous life. I lightly sketched the painting in my hand. Finishing touches. The picture shows the two of us and our unborn child. Madam, are you tired? I'll hold you to rest. Mark comes over. Take the paintbrush out of my hand. He chuckled. Helped me wipe the paint off the tip of my nose. Explain. Like a little cat. I don't know if it's my illusion. Mark's eyes suddenly lit up. I open my arms. Stretch out. Hold him by the back of his neck as he bends over. Finished. I'm turning into a pig. I found that since I got pregnant. I became more sleepy. This is not As soon as I touched the bed, I started yawning. Between sleep and wakefulness, I vaguely saw a little boy being pushed to the ground. Just when a group of people around him were about to beat him up, a little girl in a flowery dress rushed up to him. "Protect him." Menacingly. "Do you know he is my good friend? If anyone dares to mess with him, I won't be polite to anyone." The group of children who had been so majestic just now immediately scattered like birds and beasts. Little girl squatting next to little boy. Wipe the dust off his face. "Seriously speaking, you don't have to be afraid. They dare not bully you when I am here." The little boy's gray eyes suddenly brightened up. He swore he will treat her well in this life. But not long after, the little boy moved away. When I saw the little girl again, he recognized her immediately. But she seemed to have forgotten him. He approached quietly, afraid of disturbing her life. I didn't dare let her find out. In the long run, if she encounters any danger, he will immediately appear to protect her. This is also the reason why he jumped into the sea to rescue her without hesitation. After waking up from a dream, Mark immediately held her in his arms. "Lower your head and gently lean towards my belly. This place nurtures our little life." It's been 7 months. It suddenly occurred to me. Ask him. When did he decide to marry me? He didn't even think about it. Blurred out when I was 6 years old. Our first meeting. A 6-year-old boy doesn't know what marriage is. He only knew that he wanted to be with the little girl who bravely protected him forever. Then he took away the ring drawing she drew, secretly kept for many years. In this way, the time is right. The dream came true. Even the butterfly ring that was only shown to one person matched. Stupid as me. It's so late that I finally see you through the fog. Turn out to be. It's you all the time. Fortunately, it's not too late. I raised my head and kissed him on the lips. He didn't move. Silently bear my surging love. Until I back off. He leaned forward swiftly, sucking the oxygen from my mouth like crazy. In the bedroom filled with ambiguous atmosphere. Dim night light on. Mark's slender hands reached into my clothes. Decisive. Doctors say 7 months. When you sense danger, it's too late. I was held in his arms. The dense kisses instantly invaded my remaining sanity. Lights flickering. The perfectly fitted figure rises and falls like a wave. Tireless. End of text. Extra, Mark's perspective. That day was the 6-month anniversary of our marriage. The weather is gray. Even the last ray of sunshine is blocked by dark clouds. Mark bought a bunch of carnations on his own. Back to the villa. Want to ask Nancy to go with him to see his mother. That day was April 8th. His mother's death anniversary. I learned from the nanny that Nancy was drawing in her room. Mark placed the bouquet on the entrance cabinet. Go straight upstairs. Standing at the door of Nancy's room, he paused. Silence for a long time. He raised his hand and knocked on the door. "Nancy. Can I come in?" Full of tentative words. What followed was silence. Half a while. So long that Mark thought Nancy wouldn't answer. The door is open, showing a cute little face. The tip of the nose and forehead were stained with some paint. More cute. He raised his hand. I want to help her wipe. But I thought she would dislike it. So he put it down. See, it's him. Nancy's smiling eyes immediately became alert. She frowned, impatiently holding the door. What's wrong? Is there something wrong? Mark caught her quick change of expression. Lowering my eyes in pain, I smiled bitterly. She always smiled and said hello to the servants in the villa. Only to him. Avoid. It's like he's some kind of monster. If you are a step slower, you will be chewed up and swallowed into your stomach. At first, I listened to her aunt. He thought she liked him. I never thought she wouldn't want to. Later, on the wedding night, she broke down and cried and told him to go away. He realized that she didn't seem to like him. Didn't recognize him either. He coveted everything about her. Even though I know she already has a lover. But still unwilling to let go. I'm obsessed with believing that she will always fall in love with him. Mark's eyes dimmed. The voice is slightly hoarse. I want to take you to meet my mother. Mark. If I have a chance in the future, I will go with you to see your mother. This is Nancy when she was little, looking up. Smiling innocently. To him. Today is hers. Are you done yet? Nancy frowned. Look at him with disgust. I don't want to be with you at all. Not even for half a second. The door slammed shut. Mark was mercilessly locked out. Breathing stops. A dense tingling sensation along the skin texture. React. It's the pain of the heart being crushed repeatedly. Mark doesn't remember how he got to the cemetery. I only remember him kneeling alone at Maggie's grave. Suddenly it started to rain heavily. He was somewhat fortunate. Fortunately, Nancy didn't come with him. Otherwise it will rain today. I'll catch a cold when I go back. She is not in good health. Colds and fevers take longer to heal. He didn't want to see her coughing at night. The face turned red with discomfort. Mark knew Nancy saw him. Will be unhappy. I rarely disturb her. Later, he seldom returned home. Even when I came back, I would hide in the study. Try not to meet her. Sometimes at night, after Nancy falls asleep, he would sneak into the bedroom to see her. That's all. He was satisfied. This is not a luxurious life. But it was broken on the day they got married for 2 years. After Mark came back from the company, Nancy is nowhere to be seen. I learned from the nanny that she went to celebrate Frank's birthday. Came back very late. He sighed. After eating in the empty living room, I went back to the study. The nannies finished their work. He let them go home early from get off work. Looking at the silent ceiling, he couldn't help but fall into deep thought. She remembered that today was Frank's birthday. But I don't remember it was their second wedding anniversary. Even if she remembers, I will just let him go away in disgust. Let him leave her alone. Cold face for several days. Makes him wonder if he should let go. Give Nancy the freedom she always wanted. Finally, his eyes fixed on the desk. Photo of girl smiling at the camera. He wants. If I hadn't married him. She should be so free now. Final. He closed his eyes in pain. Ask someone to draft a divorce agreement and send it to me. Mark was silent for a long time before signing. Prepare to give it to Nancy when she comes back. If she saw this, I should be very happy. Mark opened a few bottles of wine after a long time. Haven't had a drink in a long time. After drinking 1 cup after another. He seems drunk. Otherwise, how could we see Nancy blushing? Open the door and walk towards him. Sitting on his lap. In my dream, she was particularly active tonight. The soft lips slowly aroused the fire in him. The touch is so real. He can't control himself anymore. Carry her to bed. He took the initiative and pressed her down. He leaned forward slowly. The warm breath lingered in her ears. With a hint of intoxicating wine aroma. Breathing becomes more rapid. Blushing cheeks. Heartbeat. Her hair is loose. The body pressed against his. There is a wall lamp in the room. The dim light diffuses in the bedroom. The shadows revealed 2 figures entangled tightly together. After waking up from a dream, Mark looked at the mess in the room. And the little face sleeping on his arm. I just realized how ridiculous last night was. His heart tightened. I can't imagine how much Nancy will hate him when she wakes up and knows all this. She will destroy the whole villa. Will divorce him. If it was yesterday, he will definitely divorce her and set her free. But not now. He must be responsible for her. Mark is a coward. He really didn't have the energy to face Nancy, who was arguing with him. So I left a note to help her cover the quilt. Let Grace take care of her in the future. He fled. In the box. Mark blames drinking for the problem. Poured a glass of wine and stared. Didn't drink. His heart was extremely quiet. Grace just called him at home. Said my wife took a bath after waking up. Ask where the gentleman went. After I confessed the truth. The wife came into the room and stayed for a while. Changed clothes after coming out. Said he was going out. Mark lowered his eyes. Put down the cup heavily in loneliness. She's out. I have to go find Frank again. Henry and other guys were still singing in the box. Suddenly, the surroundings became unusually quiet. Mark looked up in confusion. Bumped into a pair of clean and pure in eyes filled with tears. It's Nancy. Did she go out to look for him? He pursed his lips. The next second, he saw Nancy reaching out her hand and begging him to go home with her. His heart almost melted. I no longer care about what consequences I will face when I return. He held her hand. Hold it tight. Afraid she would abandon him. But he is also selfish. Fearing that being sober would embarrass her, she pretended to be drunk. At that time, Nancy seemed to be particularly tolerant of him. She took the initiative to help him into the car. help him wipe his body, let him sleep in his own room, and even hold him when sleeping at night. Mark was almost knocked unconscious by this beautiful dream. He wants. If possible, he hopes to never wake up in his life. After a sleepless night, Mark rarely went to the company. Reading newspaper in the living room. He had already noticed Nancy when she came down the stairs. The corner of my eye couldn't stop sticking to her. Until she slowly sat down next to him. He didn't read a word of the newspaper while I was talking to him. Completely attracted by the elegant scent of gardenia. It took a long time to come back to my senses. His mind unconsciously emerged that night when the soft fragrance entered his arms. The scent gradually climbed up his shoulders. The girls crying and mumbling were broken into pieces, and she begged for mercy incoherently. Facing Nancy's clear and pure eyes. He wanted to punch himself right there. Unable to resist her approach any longer, he hurriedly found an excuse to escape. Afterwards, I hated myself for not doing my best. Almost pushed her away again. Mark noticed that Nancy was a little different recently. Very different. When he caught her having sex with Frank again. She didn't get angry. Call him a third party. Instead, she blamed him for not standing up to protect her and not pushing Frank away. There were ripples in his heart. Can't calm down for a long time. Mark knew this might be a honey trap in military tactics. But he still couldn't help but indulge in it. He wants. Gentle knife. Cutting people's lives. Nancy wants his life. Give her any time. Since then. They are like a normal couple. Go on a date, watch a movie, climb a mountain, watch the sunrise, come home, cuddle together and talk about love. Everyone in the industry knows that Mark finally got what he wanted after all these years. I went to them to ask how to please my sister-in-law. Rather than late-night drinking emo. There are no more rumors of discord between the two. Mark thought they could live together peacefully for the rest of their lives. Until that day. Mark was on a business trip in France when he learned that Nancy was missing. God knows how scared he is. He wants. He could have endured the darkness if he had never seen the sun. But when the warmth of the sun accidentally warmed him, he realized that he could no longer tolerate the coldness of darkness. Mark ran home like crazy and found out that Nancy was pregnant. They have a child. This is the fruit of their love. It is also the best proof of their love these days. Aren't I already dead? Nancy these days is just playing the long game. But when the pregnancy test report appeared in his eyes, he was sure that something happened to Nancy. He finally let go of his worries when he used all the forces in the city to find her. At first, he didn't hold a tranquilizer gun. But when he came to, he was no longer alone. He must consider their future. That's right. They still have a future. After rescuing Nancy. His hands were shaking for 3 days. The doctor said it was a stress response caused by excessive fear. He realized that he was really scared. The days without her are like being addicted to opium. But all his life he can only live on vague memories. This is horrible. Until she took his hand and touched her slightly bulging belly. He felt a clear beating. Calm your mind. My hands don't shake anymore. He finally determined. This time. He won't live like a zombie anymore. From now on, the winter is over. Starry night. The rest of my life. She is always there for me.